globally known as a Deaf Awareness Month. Without further ado, Ruth, kindly introduce yourself and tell us how you've been from last when you were here.
Thank you so much. My name is WAIRIMU, and this is my sign name. I'm here to discuss about Inclusion 101, and I'm happy to see you all.
All right, you're happy. We are also happy to have you. How have you been since the last week that you've been here? Since the last when you're here?
I'm fine, and life is okay.
Life is okay. Are you facing any challenges in terms of how the cost of living has risen? Is there any changes in how you are spending your money and galvanizing yourself from the economical situation that most of Kenyans are going through?
It's true, Alan. Life is not that it's not that easy as it was a long time ago. It's very hard and harsh on my end, and it's not making things any comfortable. Because right now purchasing some things is way much expensive, or you get that even it's double the price that we had known previously. So it's making me and other Kenyans suffer a lot, because we are not able to purchase food as we used to, and others are employed. So we are really facing a lot of challenges. And also we don't forget persons with disability. They are also experiencing a rough time, because like for us persons who are deaf, when we apply for a job, it becomes hard because someone is not ready to employ a deaf person because the lack of an interpreter. So I've decided to they decide to do some manual jobs where they can just get their daily bread, and also because most of them you get that they're not getting any support from anyone, so they tend to get the manual jobs so that they can support themselves. So it's just we trying to hustle in Nairobi and put some food on the table, because it's very much hard to get different opportunities. Because when it comes to our CVs, and also being that I'm deaf, I'll speak on the challenges that the deaf people experience when writing a CV. Most of them are not conversant with English, so it becomes hard, because if you submit that CV, they will tell you wait, because at some point they are not going to understand what is written in the CV, and they will never call you. So it's not that easy. Yeah, life Alan is very hard. It's very expensive.
Yeah. Thank you very much for sharing there, and all that you've said is very important, but there is something that you've spoken about in terms of deaf people being able to access sign language interpreters so that they can get access to employment. And if we look at the theme for last month, for Deaf Awareness Month, was about a country or a nation or a world where a deaf person can sign everywhere, and for a deaf person to sign everywhere, that means there must be access to a sign language interpreter. I want us to go straight into what we're talking about today, and we want to talk about the organizations that put up activities during Deaf Awareness Month. Who do you think put out most of the work, and what do you have to tell us about those organizations?
Let me talk about KENA, which is the Kenya National Association for the Deaf, and also KISLIA, which is the Kenya Sign Language Interpretation Association. from last month, they did celebrate Deaf Awareness Month.
Yeah.
And trainers supported different activities. For example, they talked with the sign language interpreters to come help in the activities. And also we had sign language classes. So they also they had a walk which was much it was productive, and they also were talking more about getting more sign language interpreters, because the deaf are many in Kenya. We have others who are in the downtown, so most of our topics will go getting sign language interpreters on board, and also teach sign language so that information is accessible and we get straight information and perfect information rather than what we've been getting in the past. So this will really help the deaf in future. Because if we get interpreters in charge in different conferences, it becomes easier for us to access this information. Yeah.
Interesting. And one of the things that KENED, or the Kenya National Deaf Association, did was a talent show. What would you tell us more about that talent show, and why was it very important for the deaf community to showcase their talents in a time such as September?
Let me start by saying that I didn't get the opportunity to participate. And but let me give my sentiments. To hold such an event is not easy, because you get that there are no many sign language on board. So Alan, the talent show is very important to the deaf community, because first of all they show their talents, and also the second thing is the hearing people get to see these talents, and they are able to either offer different opportunities which lead to the deaf getting more interested in different things.
Interesting there. And on the part of Kislia, we understand Kislia is the Association of Sign Language Interpreters. What more role did they play in making sure that the deaf celebrated the Deaf Awareness Month to its magnitude?
Kislia played a role of offering interpreters, because during the Deaf Awareness Month, it was not just the deaf celebrating, but we had invited also the hearing people in our different activities. So Kislia was responsible for providing interpreters so that the hearing people who are in the activities can be able to feel comfortable and understand what we are saying. So this really helped a lot, because for them to come and mingle with us, it was easy for us to present our issues, and so that we can also get different opportunities. Because if we couldn't have interpreters, then on their part they could be stuck, and also our part we could be stuck. stuck. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you mentioned about the deaf awareness walk, which happened in Nairobi, and I found that very interesting because different leaders came and participated in the walk, and we had the likes of Otiende Amolo. I saw the MP Silasia, if I've gotten that name pronounced properly, and among other dignitaries who participated in this walk. How do you think it is important to have such leaders join in such celebrations, or when we understand that these leaders are also responsible for putting law into action to offer services to not only deaf people but persons with disabilities in general?
The importance of the procession and also the importance of the leaders being there is for them to see for themselves and also to hear from us, the deaf, the issues that are affecting us, so that as we advocate for ourselves, they're here to know about our concerns, our experiences, and this really, and if they get the first-hand information, it plays a big role because they are able now to make laws concerning the first-hand information they got.
Absolutely. And we have come to the end of that month. Do you think that awareness will continue, or it was only awareness for that particular month? And if it is supposed to continue, what do you think that organizations are supposed to do to make sure that at least this awareness is not one-off? At least this awareness is sort of planned out gradually, because issues of persons with disabilities or those who are deaf, they do not stop happening just because a month of awareness has ended.
For me, I would say that the awareness will continue, and I will continue advocating for the deaf to get different opportunities. And just like we still had the awareness before the month, so we are going to still have the awareness as the month comes to an end.
All right. And we would like also to send a special thank you to all the other organizations that worked in collaboration with different stakeholders to make sure that Deaf Awareness Month was a success. The likes of the United States International University, the likes of Kenya Institute of Special Education, the likes of Action Network for the Disabled, among other organizations that came. I think also the Aga Khan University had something to do with celebrating the deaf, and of course among other stakeholders. Ruth, it is a new month. We are in October. What are some of the things that you look at us covering in the coming Tuesdays in terms of inclusion one-on-one?
I feel the next Tuesday we discuss more about persons with disability and how the National Council is working towards their needs.
All right. That's a date from you. Any parting shot, any last one that you'd like to share today as we're coming to the end of the show?
So my parting shots are let's meet next Tuesday as we share more. And thank you so much. Continue watching Science TV.
All right. That's a date that has already been confirmed. Being your host, Alan Herbert, and the sign language interpreter this morning has been Jedida Wafula, and my co-pandit here, or my co-host for Inclusion One-on-One, Ruth WAIRIMU. As we said, from the previous Tuesday, we're going to be coming on here and we're going to be talking to you about matters disability inclusion, and that is on the installment Inclusion One-on-One. Let's see you tomorrow on Wednesday as we bring you Dreams in Motion. Good morning. you.